beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. You guys, I am watching P Valley as I do this, okay? So the way that it works, I watch a little bit, I stop it, give a little commentary. So it's kind of a first reaction video where I don't know what's coming up. So you'll get my first reaction, because normally I watch it twice. So normally I'll watch it, and then when I do the video, I'll come back and rewatch it and give my commentary. But I'm watching it because I got a lot to do. It's holiday weekend and I am hosting, so the girls got shit to do. So I can't make videos all day, which seems like I need to make videos all day. But excuse me. So we start off with they in the ATL, and Keyshawn is being honored at the Legends Ball, a Legends Ball or something. And I'm like, do they have a strippers Legends Ball? But I guess so. And she's back there with Rome. He's telling her that, he just got her a line for hair. And he's showing her the hair that she has or whatever. And it's red, blue, skunk. And she's like, ghetto. And I'm like, girl, you said it, because I sure was thinking it. Ugh. So he puts a blonde wig on her. And she's like, I don't know. This ain't really going to go with my skin tone. And I'm like, no, it's not. Ma'am, we're chocolate and we should definitely not be wearing blonde hair. So I'm going to go with you there. But he puts it on her and tells her that they are about to do another 2-week tour. She's like, nah, 1 week. He says he already talked to Justin Bieber and it's cool. She's like, I got to get home. And I feel her. She got kids. Like, it ain't even just about him. She got kids. But he told her it's all good. He wants to, I guess, make her so big that she don't have to ever go back home. And in the background, we have Uncle Clifford kind of narrating and saying how everybody tries to save her. Everybody wants to save Keyshawn. And he said he even tried to save her. Thing is, Keyshawn don't really want to be saved, do she? I mean, because why is she still there? If this man has been beating you up forever and all these different people have tried to save you, she's the one making money, right? So, yeah, Keyshawn don't want to be saved. All right, so up in the club we have Big Teak. I was saying his name wrong. I kept calling him Big T. It's Big Teak. And we got Teak and Lil Murder. They in there arguing about the fact that Lil Murder wanted to perform. He's like, they sent him over some Ciroc, yeah. And then when Rome came and sat down, he's like, ooh, the good stuff. I said, is it? I'm sorry, is it? It's a rock. But um he's saying how he could have performed Mississippi something or whatever. And he's like, so Tika's like, why would they want to hear that in here? Well, it samples an ATL, nigga, so why not? So they arguing. And when Rome come over, he like, y'all still arguing? And they like, we not arguing. Like a couple, right? Um, so we have Jocelyn come in. She flies in. I'm not a Jocelyn Hernandez fan. So to me, she just looked a little scary. And she did this terrible twerk pole session. It was terrible. I'm sorry. Whatever she used to have in terms of being a stripper, she ain't got it no more. So I was glad when she got done. She wrapped that shit up real quick. And apparently they are there to honor different legends in the stripper game. Only one I can remember is Jessica Dime. I don't know why. I don't even know who that is. I don't know why I know that name though. Was she on a reality show or something, you guys? I don't know, but so as they're honoring the legends, they are, you know, of course, also trying to bring on the newbies. So Jocelyn is introducing the newbies, and of course, it's gonna be Miss Mississippi. Y'all, Mississippi be killing that pole. And the thing is, she does it in a smooth way. Like, she's not mad aggressive like Mercedes and Roulette and them. They kill it too, but just in a different way where they are just really aggressive with it. She does it, she's smooth. And I don't think I said it before, but I'm very surprised that there has not been a rapper that stole this idea, because I think it would be very dope. There's a lot of women out there who can really kill the pole like this. I remember like years ago seeing somebody on a pole. I guess she was just like in her house or something, and she was like killing the pole, but not in a stripper way. It was like really, I don't know. It was nice. I mean, not to say that strippers are nice, but I'm just saying it's a good idea. One main girl who can really do the pole, And if you do that kind of music, great idea. But we have Uncle Clifford coming in the background saying how legends are not made. They are, I mean, sorry, legends aren't born, they're made. And we're about to find out about Miss Mississippi's past. So we go and we see that Keyshawn was a cheerleader. All right, and before I push play, we can already guess that there is some form of abuse in Keyshawn's past because there's no way that she would still be there thinking that this is okay if this is not something that she grew up either seeing, witnessing. Seeing and witnessing the same thing. Y'all, it's early. Um, but like being a part of, unfortunately having it happen to her or whatever. So we're gonna see what happens. I'm interested. Yeah, so she's a cheerleader and she's trying to do a stunt and she falls. And unfortunately, nobody really tried to help her up. What's the white girl's name that she is close friends with? Apparently, they went to high school together. So she goes to a school that is diverse. There's black, there's white, so she doesn't just go to an all black high school. Then we have one of the white boys that was being really, really nice to her. Was that her man now? Yeah, I'm sorry, but they look alike. Like, I don't know. I guess I'll find out when they say his name. And y'all probably already know. It looked like him, I guess, but so he's being nice to her. Then we have another light skinned girl walk over and say she want to try a stunt and she wants to do something a little bit harder than what Keyshawn was doing. So come to find out, that's her stepsister. And you can already tell that her stepsister got it in for her. So she sticks her stunt that she's doing or whatever, and she makes the team. Keyshawn does not make the team. We have football players come over and they're talking to Keyshawn while she's sitting on a bench with the ice pack on her head from falling, and they're just being really rude, talking about how chocolatey she is. Y'all, I'm chocolate, and I'm sorry that shit just. And I'm not saying that it didn't happen because I'm sure it happened and probably still happens, but thank God it just never happened to me. I'm chocolatey, and I didn't have to deal with that, thankfully. But yeah, they're telling her she's through and ain't nobody gonna want her. What the hell? Like, it's unbelievable and it's so freaking sad because of course we know she's not through. She's pretty. And just because she's a little darker than them, because they're not light skinned, they weren't light. But anyway, of course the white guy comes over and he's being her savior. So he's saving her and he beats up the whole team of black people. It's so funny when he's beating up the first black guy. He's punching him or whatever, and the black guy's on the ground like, ain't nobody gonna help me? I was thinking the same thing. Y'all just gonna let him get beat up? So he ends up uh, beating up three black guys. I'm like, okay, we gonna go with it, but I don't know that really would have happened. And you had a whole other team of black guys just standing around. I don't know, but yeah, so she ends up talking to him later and in the hallway, and he lets her know that he doesn't think she's through at all. So of course she's giving him the googly eyes, and we hear Uncle Clifford in the background saying how she never thought, her savior would be, one of these people, and she didn't really think that she deserved a savior. And he says something about a stepmother. I stopped the video, so I guess we're about to meet the stepmom. Ooh, yeah, y'all. The stepmama's a problem. Ooh, stepmama's a problem. So we got a regular Cinderella story. She has two stepsisters, and the stepmom is making Keyshawn do the stepsister's hair, thinking that it's a chore that she doesn't want to do. But Uncle Clifford said she loves playing in their hair. And the stepmom comes in and she's talking to the daughters about how she needs an assistant because trying to keep up with their pageants and practice and raising two girls is just very hard. And Keyshawn is like, three, you're raising three. And she's like, oh yeah, I gotta get used to that number. So of course dad isn't there, so we haven't met dad yet. But Keyshawn is and the one sister, the one that made the cheerleading squad, I don't think we ain't seen it all, but she may not be all that bad because she told her mom luck comes in threes. And then the younger one was like, and so does death. But Keyshawn is doing the hair and she ends up burning off this girl's ponytail. So of course the mama is pissed. I mean, she is pissed. Don't touch her. And you took away her strength. And she actually said that that is what made her pretty. Her hair is what made this girl pretty. And so the girl is looking extremely upset. And I'm just like, yeah, this mom, she's a problem because she is like tearing down pretty much everybody. Unreal. So then we have Uncle Clifford saying she took the one little girl down a notch, but she better not come for Alicia. And Alicia is the prettiest light skinned BI around. And I'm like, she's a pretty girl, but listen, I hate that this is a thing with our community. This whole light skin, dark skin thing is ridiculous. All right, so they're sitting at the lunch table, and apparently the other girl is in high school too, the other sister. So they're all sitting together with Gidget, and they're talking about a crack a toe or a nigga toe, and which party they're gonna go to. Or they're asking Gidget which party she's going to, and she's like, she don't want to go with them crackers so they can make fun of her TJ Maxx dress because apparently Gidget is trailer trash, and I'm like, who would have thought? But so Keyshawn is thrown off and she's like, what is, what's going on? So they tell her how the party used to be called Mistletoe, but the more black people that came, the white parents now throw their kids their own Christmas party or whatever. So that's why they kind of broke it up. And it's so sad, you guys. My best friend lives in Mississippi, and I did not find out until my guy baby, Mr. Malachi, was in high school that they really, really do give separate parties out there. And this was not that long ago. Like, I was blown away that this was happening. This was what? Maybe 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, or whatever, they were still giving separate parties or whatever. And I was just like, that's unreal. So this is a real thing. And then we hear that Alicia's name is on the wall, that she gives good head, and Keyshawn is trying to tell her, listen, that's a good thing. So, she appreciates that. And like I thought, I feel like she's going to kind of help Keyshawn out a little bit. I don't think that they're going to hate each other as much as they want us to think they're going to hate each other. All right, so Keyshawn is walking in the rain. She's walking home from school. She got her books on her head because it's raining. I just said walking in the rain. So he comes to pick her up, the white guy, and they go to a diner and they're eating bacon fries. And how do I know? Because Pastor Woodbine was a waitress and she came to see what else she wanted. She wanted some more fries. And she's like, he can afford more than fries. I know you paying for this date. Oh, it's not really a date. This isn't where he would normally take her. And yeah, Keyshawn kind of looks around because he told her he would take her downtown or something to eat snow cones. She doesn't feel deserving of, nice things, apparently. So they're talking, they're flirting, nothing really to see there except for the fact that he has a bruise on his eye. And she's like, "You've been fighting the whole football team again?" He's like, "No," and he gives some bullshit story about something happening with flyers and everything. And we know that apparently his father, this is what we're going to find out, I'm sure, his father be, abusing him. And that is where it's learned from, for him at least. So we haven't gotten that far, but I'm good, y'all. I'm good. I can suss it out. So back at the house, they're putting up Christmas decorations. It's a beautiful home, you guys. And I don't know who's the one with the money. Was she the one with the money? Or was Keyshawn's dad the one with the money? I guess we'll find out later. But house is beautiful. They're decorating for Christmas. She says she wants everything up. She wants the tree done before James crosses the threshold. And they're like, anything for your man, huh? And so they're asking how she got wooed. And she's like, well, I served him a drink on the plane. And Keyshawn is like, yeah, you served his wife first. And she's like, well, yeah, I can understand how, from your perspective, you probably see it like that, but everything ain't what it seems. Keyshawn says, I know it ain't a fucking fairy tale like the one you got in your head. And she drops the ornament and goes at Keyshawn like, what? And she's like, yeah, your little fairy tale is missing some scenes. And she calls her a home wrecker turned homemaker. And the lady tells her to go upstairs. She throws like, I guess it's mashed potato in her face. And the kids the sisters are like, Mom. And then Keyshawn is like, listen, you got me all the way fucked up. Like, I may look bougie, but I go get a Beretta real quick. And I'm like, dang, did she just really threaten her whole life? Like, tell her you gonna beat her up or something, but you gonna kill her? So she's like, you just like your mama. And that's why he ain't with her. And then we see her upstairs on the bed, I guess, while she's arguing with the dad. All right, so then we see that she is sitting on the bed and she notices a cutout of Rihanna. And she goes and takes the cutout, and then we go back to present time where Jocelyn Hernandez comes in with her little money things or whatever. And she's, got the money spewing out, and she tells her, you better pick up them hundreds later. But and as she's coming out, Uncle Clifford is narrating still, and he's saying how this is her fairy godmother, because he's constantly talking about how she wants to be saved. So even on the scene when she was sitting on the bed, he said he too wanted to be saved and wanted somebody to reach down and come and pull him up out of the gutter, or her up out of the gutter. And yeah, so Jocelyn gives her a card and tells her to come to her suite or whatever. And she's like, you want me to come dance for you? Nah, a bad bitch just want to talk to another bad bitch. And I'm like, ugh. But then we go back to where the sisters, are getting ready for, I guess, homecoming dance. Ah, so yeah, they're ready for the homecoming, and their dates are there. Dad is there. We finally see Dad. He's taking pictures. Then he looks over at Keyshawn, who has on her pajamas eating cereal, and he's like, hey, can you come take a picture of all of us? So Dad gets in the middle of the girls, and he's all up on Miss Alicia. And Uncle Clifford is narrating, saying something about pretty girls have pretty problems, and Alicia know a little something about that. So he's like squeezing up on Alicia, and I'm like, her dad ain't shit. Oh, that's terrible. But just then the doorbell rings, and it's the guy. I can't remember his name, y'all, but he's there with an outfit for her, and he's all dressed for the ball. And I'm like, oh, he's saving her again, like the white savior. It drives me crazy, but okay. So he brings her an outfit. She goes to get ready, and she looks beautiful because she's beautiful, of course. She has on this navy blue dress, some nice glittery heels, and she walks into the party with him, and everybody's looking. And then we notice that she's at the white people party with him, and the other girls are at the black people party. All right, so then they show the differences in the parties, and the fact that, first of all, what's that girl named Gidget? She's at the black party, of course. But, at the black party, they have sandwiches. At the white party, they have lobster, champagne, and, they're dancing very prim and proper. And at the black party, they getting it in, y'all. They twerking, they doing a little bit of everything. It looks so much more fun at the black party. Sorry. But, Keyshawn and the guy, her boyfriend, ends up under a mistletoe, and they're about to kiss, and then a lady walks up and just looks. So on the way out, Keyshawn is like, that lady was about to have a fit, and I guess she had a problem with the fact that they just kept dancing. And he says she's the president of the mistletoe committee and his mom, but she's all bark. But his dad, on the other hand, is all bite. What I tell you. So he has another bruise on his face, and she put two and two together that, his dad is the one that's hitting him, because he says that his dad, he does the bite that makes you want the bark. So they end up doing it in the car. Yeah. And we have Uncle Clifford narrating in the background, talking about love and lust and how they look the same. So Keyshawn make it in the house. She late. She trying to tip in, but the stepmom is down there drinking, smoking, and looking like she's been crying. Keyshawn is like, sorry, I missed curfew. She's like, well, you better than the other two because they ain't even made it in yet. And she's like, you the good daughter tonight. And she tells her that, the dress looked like it was custom fit for her, custom made for her. And she's like, yeah, I know. And she's like, yeah, be careful, being a man's Barbie, because he can always buy another one. And Uncle Clifford in the background narrating is like, what she said. And she's like, Yeah, she didn't want to listen. We never do, which is true. We always get, good advice. And I mean, why would she take advice from this lady who's normally mean to her, even though she said she wasn't going to tell the dad? So she was being nice to her tonight, but, just her tone and everything comes off a little shitty. But yeah, it was good, actually good advice. All right, so we back in the room, back in present day with Mississippi, Lil Murda, and all them in the room. And, she got all this money and everything. So they're talking about, how they're excited to go on the second leg of the tour. And then she turns to Big Tick and she's like, "You want some strawberries or whatever? Like, why you been so quiet?" "I ain't quiet. I'm fine." He just got an attitude problem. So he ends up getting up and going. And it's funny because she turns to Lil Murda's um, manager and she gives him a look. And then we see at the bottom that the look was like, "Are these niggas fucking?" And he looks back at her like, "I think these niggas fucking." So, they asked Lil Murda, "Is Teak okay?" And he's like, "Nah, he ain't been okay for a while." And the manager is like, "Well, maybe he needs to get him a bitch." And Lil Murda stops and looks at him and he's like, "Or maybe not." And I'm like, yo, y'all just letting it be known that, listen, that's your man. So, or, I mean, Lil Murda's the top. So, anyway, but yeah, listen, Teak is a problem, which we already know. And I am excited to find out how much of a problem once they get done with this tour and get back to Chuckalisa, where Uncle Clifford and them at. That's when it's really going to be a problem. But he better not hurt Uncle Clifford. Y'all, this freaking review is about to be so long. Sorry, I'm already at 21 minutes and I still got like 30 minutes of the show left to go. So I'm going to try not to give so much commentary, but it's hard because you be want to, put everything in there. All right, so Rome comes in and asks if they done counting money because he tells Keyshawn, "When y'all done, we need to slide by Jocelyn's." And he gives Lil Murda some keys or whatever. And then, Lil Murda's like, "Cool, we gonna do this or whatever, whatever. And then we'll be ready to slide with y'all." And he's like, "Nah, y'all can't slide." And Lil Murda's, of course, not happy about it. He's like, "Look, I've done enough for y'all. I got y'all these rooms or whatever." He's like, if it was up to Wardy, y'all be staying at Section 8, not Section 8. What is that? Motel 8 or whatever, somewhere at some, I guess, little city. So Big T comes out and he's like, "Where's that at?" And he's like, "Exactly." So Big T gets pissed off or whatever. He throws the keys like, "We don't need your charity." And Rome stands up and he's like, "Ungrateful nigga." He was like, "So what, these 5-star mattresses too soft for you? You need that prison cot?" And I'm like, he is going to tear him up. When T gets his hands on Rome, he's going to tear him up. He really is. But T always got an attitude. He is the most unpleasant man in the world. I wouldn't want him around me. His energy is always off. Yo, so Big T gets his bag and say he going to go and sleep in the hearse. Lil Murda go, Lil Murda go, sorry. Lil Murda go chasing after him, of course. And then we just have Waddy and uh, Keyshawn, Mississippi, in the room. And she's telling him she's going to go get their keys or whatever. And till then, you can sit tight here or whatever. And he's just like giving her this look. And she starts smiling. She's like, "What?" And he's like, "I don't like your hair." And then all you hear is Uncle Clifford in the background going, "Whoop." Because that's exactly what I did too. I was like, "Oh." Yes, we don't like that hair, sis. Take that hair out. He told her he liked the hair that grew out your head. And Uncle Clifford said, what he said. All right, so then we go back in time where she is 8 months pregnant and they are struggling, her and the guy. And he's, showing her the clothes and bibs and everything that his mom bought. She's like, this ain't what I asked for. It's ugly. He's like, "You being very judgmental," telling her that, she's being real unfair and, hard to please. And she's saying how his mom is just not helping now, and her dad is the one that helped them get a place. His family hasn't really been helping. So he just ends up snapping out on her and telling her that, he should have never talked to her. And his mom said not to ever, get with her, and he should have listened because now she's the reason why his family, kicked him out and everything. And he called her a backwoods bitch. He called her a gold digger. He said his mom said she was a gold digger. And she's like, how am I a gold digger when I'm the one working at Walgreens? You're not doing anything. Yeah, I don't understand what they're trying to do. Like, they gave us the backstory, and it seems like they want us to like him. Like, they want us to think that he was a really good guy that turned bad because of his abuse when he was younger and the fact that she had a mouth on her. Like, no, it doesn't matter. He still shouldn't be putting his hands on her. So he's like choking her out or whatever. And, we hear Uncle Clifford in the background saying that a little bit of her died that day. And then we come back into present time. So then we have Keyshawn making it to Rome's room, and she's ready to go see Jocelyn, and he's in his robe and slippers, talking about he just got off the phone and the wig deal fell through because of the money. But he pulls out some shoes, and he's like, "This is the next move." And she's like, "Stripper heels? Yeah, stripper heels." And she's like, "Listen, I want to do the wigs because everybody wear hair, but 3% off of this customer base is not going to be a lot." So he tries it on her, and she does what she always does, is just give in, where she's like, okay. So she goes to try it on with her outfit. All right, so she in the mirror with her outfit and the shoes on. So Rome come in and ask how everything looked together, and he got his robe open, and you can see all of his front. And I'm like, okay, Rome, big Rome. But she's like, listen, your robe is open. And he's like, oh, it must have just came open. So, of course, he's trying to, talk to her and touch on her. She's like, what are you doing? Stop. And he's telling her how he spent all this money for her. And, he's just basically just kind of degrading her. The more she says no, he's just like, all this is pending, and tells her that, she be giving out nasty lap dances and you a stripper. You won't strip for me. That's what you do. She's like, that ain't all I do. So they get into this dialogue about how she's giving out fantasies and everything. She then walks away like, this ain't what I do. And he follows up behind her, and he's like, listen, I saw you tonguing Lil Murder down, and he looked like he ain't really like that stuff. And he's like, as far as I know, he could be fucking Big Teak. And she's like, you ain't got no proof of that. Why she said that, I don't know. Why she didn't just say, you crazy or something like that. But he then pulls out a phone, and he didn't recorded them doing it. How did he do that? But he got them doing it. And he's like, yeah, y'all making everybody think y'all together, whatever. And he ain't with you. He a faggot. And then he tears off her shirt. And I stopped the video because I'm just like, oh my God, is he really about to do this? Like, is he really about to do this? We knew he was a creep. We knew he was a cokehead, but is he really about to do this? Unbelievable. Okay, so we see her running down the hallway, and she's knocking on the door, and then we go back to back in the day, like right after the guy choked her, and she's knocking on the door at home. Stepmama opens the door. She got on her pajamas. She's trying to come back because, he just choked her out. Stepmom is like, nah, I can't have my daughters around this. She's like, well, where's my dad? And then we have Alicia, the sister, standing on the stairs, and she's looking like she feels bad for Keyshawn. And she's asking about her dad, and she's like, your dad agrees. So she's like, listen, I told you relationships are hard, and you can't keep coming back here every time y'all get into it or whatever. So she doesn't help her. So then back in present time, we see where Wardy opens the door for her, and she, he gives her a robe, and she's telling how Rome just wants to fuck. And I stopped the video because, y'all, this is where it's going to happen. Little murder, and this is when Teak is going to be able to lay hands on Rome, and he's going to fuck him up, I'm sure. Now, I'm sure y'all have already seen it, because if y'all watching the review, y'all have already seen it, but I haven't seen it. Am I right or am I wrong? Is that what's going to happen? All right, I'm going to start the video back. So she lets Waddy know that he knows everything about Lil Murder. And he's like, what's everything? Everything. He showed me a video. And so he's like, dang. She tells him she doesn't want to do the tour. She wants to go home. He's like, but the tour, no, I don't care about the tour. I want to go home. So then we go back into the past where she's coming home in her pajamas after the fight or whatever. She ain't had nowhere to go, so she got to go back home. All right, so she comes home to a shitload of flowers in the baby's room. And I'm like, so this nigga didn't borrow some money from somewhere, and he has absolutely used it on nothing but flowers. You mean to tell me you didn't hit your parents up for some money, and this is what you wasted on? room full of flowers, and he starts crying, telling her he won't do it again. He want to be better than his dad, and she's crying, saying, "I know." So here we go with, of course, the cycle of abuse. Y'all, so Keyshawn makes it home, and Derek, is that his name? I don't know. Why am I calling everybody Derek? I don't know. But her man is in there with the kids or whatever, and her son, the biggest one, is acting unruly. Like he's not happy to see her. He doesn't want her to touch him. And she's like, "What's wrong with him?" And he's looking shifty, of course. He's like, "I don't know. He's just been missing you." So she ends up taking him to the doctor, and his elbow was dislocated. And then his shirt comes up, and the nurse notices he has bruises. So she goes home, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna have the police or something with her. Like, it's about to go down. No. She puts him in the bed or in the room at least, and she closes the door, and she confronts him about beating the little boy. Well, I've been with them for 2 weeks. You haven't been here, and he cries too much. He whines too much. She's like he's 3 years old. That's what they do. They cry. He's like it's too much sometimes. And then when he says that they get spankings, I'm like, hold on, is the other baby even one? What do you mean they get spankings? But apparently she has 3 kids. So she tells him, listen, that's fine. He says, I got to make it to this interview. She's like, well, you're not going to get it. And that's fine. I'll just keep on taking care of. Oh, no, she has 2 kids. And then she included him as a kid. And then he hit her, of course, and made her mouth bleed. So, y'all, this is a little traumatic. He's like really beating her and dragging her, and you hear the kids in the background crying. It's really, really traumatic for me. And then he grabs the iron and he's about to burn her in the face, and she's like, anywhere but my face. But yeah, I was thrown off because she wasn't even trying to move her face. Like, literally, I would have been fighting like crazy to get my face out of there. So he ends up not burning her in the face and telling her that he'll discipline his kids however he wants, and he leaves. And what a traumatic scene. Y'all. So back at the hotel, Woody walks in to Rome's room where it's just going down. It's like a whole listen, strippers everywhere, men everywhere, everything everywhere. So he goes and he's like, I need to talk to you. He's like, okay, cool. So they go in the back room, and he still got on his robe. He ain't dressed. He's like, bitches, get out the room. We need to talk boss shit or whatever. So he's asking him about the second leg of the tour. First of all, he gives him some cocaine. And he's like, is this that premium shit? He's like, yeah. So he goes ahead and he puts it out. He puts a couple lines down. Now, mind you, he had already had a line or two down there, like more towards the right. And he looks at it and he tells, what's his name, Wardy, to you go first. And he's like, all right, cool. So Wardy does it, but he actually does it off of one of the lines that was already there. So not the one that he brought that he, put out. So he's so stupid that he's like, oh, okay, cool. So then he does a line, and Woody is asking him, he's like, yeah, so what we gonna do about the tour since Keyshawn gone? Wonder what happened. And he's like, yeah, ain't no telling, bitches like that dime a dozen or whatever. So he's going on, and then Woody is talking to him about, dying. And have you ever seen somebody die? He's like, I seen my mama die. So he's just basically mind fucking him while he's dying at the same time. And he's asking him about the tape. What tape? Keyshawn told me everything. She told me absolutely everything. So the whole time he can't breathe, he's dying, and he ends up showing him a bottle of fentanyl. And I'm like, Lord. And yeah, so he's definitely dying, and he gives him a wink because they play in the murder game. And that's pretty much it, you guys. He winks, he dies, he falls over, and then everybody comes running in the room saying he OD'd. And I'm like, that was a very slick way of doing it, because I really thought Big Teak was going to be the one to take him out, and I thought he was just going to beat the living crap out of him. But I'll take this too. So then as he's walking out the room, and we have Uncle Clifford talking about, how you have a white knight and a damsel in distress can actually save herself and all that. But he gives a wink and I thought it was so cute how we have this whole murder game put in there, and then they do the wink at the end. Listen, very clever. I like it. I liked it. But you guys, if you are still here, you are the real MVP, because oh my God, this is like over 30 something minutes. But I appreciate you for still being here. And if you have not already, please consider subscribing. I need everybody to like the video, you guys. We're trying to work on the analytics, and the likes really help. So if you could like the video, comment, let's talk about what happened and what you think. How was this episode? I think it's getting better and better. So I'm all here for it. All right. If you have not already, again, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Smooches. Oh, have a very happy holiday.